Hello. This is Anna Imagination of the Healing Garden. This is going to be a very different video. It is time. Okay. I am a subconscious mind scientist. When I had multiple personality disorder, I also had about 30 years of philosophy, psychology, and sociology inside of me. And I had 4 alters, each with their own emotional trigger, so that on purpose, I could use my triggers to consciously shift around my own subconscious mind and map out the entire layout of the subconscious mind. I could analyze precisely the differences and the similarities between each alter and the core. Using this technique and my knowledge, we were able to map out everything required to determine what exactly is the subconscious mind, how it functions, and all of the working parts of it. It is the parts that were similar that attracted my attention. The parts that were different, the warm, fuzzy uniqueness, is an identity. That is the individual uniqueness that creates a personality. But it was the similarities, it was the parts that were identical that really attracted my attention. I took that information, and when I was shifting around inside of my mind, I was able to locate precisely where the mental illness was. Joanna, Imagination, Colin, Berrigan, and myself are the 4 people who were involved in this project. Now, the only one who had mental illness was Joanna. She is the one who took the brunt of all of the abuse. She is the one who was diagnosed with all of the mental illnesses, except multiple personality disorder, which I like to call multiple consciousness disorder, because everybody has multiple personalities, but multiples have multiple consciousnesses. That is what I discovered inside of the subconscious mind. I was able to map out everything. And then I was able to locate precisely where in the cognitive core, in the subconscious mind, that the mental illness developed, what exactly was the difference between Joanna's perspective versus my other alters. And then I was able to hone in, eliminate using logic exactly what the problem was and eliminate it. In this video, I will be explaining to you what the healing engine is, how it works, what the 12 perspectives are, and what precisely is the plan for the healing summit that's coming up in January. In 1970, Dr. Graves published some papers referred to as the stages of growth or spiral dynamics. He introduces the concept that there are 8+ stages of human development. He is absolutely correct. I have counted up to 12, and I have documented and done research on all 12 of the perspectives. Whether or not there are more, that's the adventure. My podcast from the course of 2014 up to the present date, including my book, does nothing but document the stages as I evolved through each stage, how each stage is different, what takes place with every stage. Every perspective, every stage of growth requires a journey, a lesson to be learned, an ethical moral. It is the understanding in the introduction of the authority, the autonomy, a person's ethic, what their priorities are, and what they do. It is the process and the journey of every person to go through each and every one of these perspectives, and it is predictable. It is identical. It's extraordinary to go through. Studying sociology, I was able to also see that it's not just an individual journey, but we do this as a societal whole. We've been doing it for thousands of years. For example, the Roman Empire is the 2nd perspective. The Dark Ages is the 3rd perspective. The 4th perspective began at the age of enlightenment, the moment we created that printing press. We are still in the 4th perspective. We are actually at the very end of the 4th perspective, and we are seeing the beginning of the 5th perspective emerge. And that is what is wrong with the world today. We are just seeing the transition between the 4th perspective and the 5th perspective. The 4th perspective has one priority, one ethical law that they adhere to. And that law is all rules must be obeyed. Our society runs on that belief, that above all else, the rules and the laws must be obeyed. The 4th perspective, Their journey is all about internalizing a lesson. And their lesson is learning how to self-govern. Fourth perspectives never learn or learned how to self-govern. That is their journey. As a result, they require law and rule in order to maintain order because they don't know how to self-govern. Our entire global society runs off of this concept. At the fifth perspective, it is the internalizing of self-government that graduates a person from the fourth perspective over to the fifth perspective. Now, the fifth perspective begins a journey, and their journey is learning accountability. Their entire purpose is understanding their new concept of authority, autonomy, their relationship to the world around themselves, and the ethic, the internalizing lesson of accountability. Once you internalize accountability, you graduate to the sixth perspective. This video specifically speaks to cultivators and sixth perspectives. That is who I am reaching out to begin this project. A sixth perspective is somebody who has internalized and understands accountability. Now, the first four perspectives, I call them foundationals because they are the foundation of learning, of the self, and of culture. The foundationals, as are all the perspectives, are vital to our society and our human growth. The foundationals do not value education. They prioritize comfort over growth. And it's just where they are in their evolutional development. The cultivators are your fifth and your sixth perspectives. These are people who value growth above comfort. This is when healing begins. People who are fourth perspective and lower do not value self-improvement. They do not bother with mental health. We do not bother with mental health and healing until at least the fifth and the sixth perspective. Sixth perspectives are very passionate about healing, about environmentalists, and about other people and helping other people. Fifth perspectives are split down the middle. You're going to see fifth perspectives who gravitate toward the foundationals and fifth perspectives who graduate toward the cultivators and or the visionaries. The visionaries occur at seventh perspective and higher. These are the innovators of the world. These are the people who think about blueprints. These are the people who can see the big picture, who abandon the hierarchical system, who live without prejudice, who can understand and appreciate how each and every perspective contributes to the world in their own way. There is no competition after the seventh perspective. The reason why this is important is because at the sixth perspective, violence and abuse end because of their ethics, because they have learned to self-govern, they have learned to value peace and pacifism. We are naturally evolving into the sixth perspective. It is going to happen. My purpose for the healing engine and triadic healing and my radical global healing plan is to raise awareness, provide the vocabulary required for people to expedite their healing so that we can consciously get to where we are going faster. This is the plan. By incorporating the 12 stages of growth into our society, by allowing people to understand what is going on, we remove the fear of the unknown. That is going to completely calm down everyone's fear system because they're going to understand. Mental illness occurs when you have a lack of understanding and when you don't remember who you are. When we heal, it is just a cycle of understanding and then remembering. And then we understand more, and then we remember more, and then we understand more. And it ends the cycle. What happens is our subconscious mind, because its agenda is to keep us safe, causes us to have amnesia, which creates a lack of understanding and confusion. This begins a cycle of you forget, you are confused, you become scared. You forget more, you become scared more, confused more, you forget more. And the cycle continues. But by stepping in With knowledge and awareness and understanding what we're doing as a whole of a society, where we're going and how we're getting there, why we're getting there, it immediately eliminates the fear of the unknown. Furthermore, using something that I have created called the Philosopher's Compass, it maps out the entire subconscious mind. It's 6 parts, how to manage and navigate those 6 parts, and precisely what is going on inside of the subconscious mind, why we have mental illness, where it comes from, and how to fix it. I will be presenting this in a master class, and I am also creating this instructional video to get us started so that people become aware of this. Now, I have created a healing engine that literally fixes all of this. It educates people to raise awareness on the plan for world peace, for global healing, and so people can understand what's going on so they can decide to get on board and how they're going to participate. If you identify as a 6th perspective, if you can feel the energy, if you believe in the energy, you are a 6th perspective. I need you. If you are somebody who wants to help, if you are a psychologist, a scientist, a teacher, a billionaire, a philanthropist, I don't care what your backstory is. If you want to get involved in help, we need to start accumulating our resources. This does not cost a lot. This is amazingly self-proficient. This is designed to utilize our natural evolution, plug right into our natural learning centers of our brain, and also to tap into our instinct of just wanting to be better for our children. It's designed to plug right into those 3 things that are already participant and just go like wildfire. Now, here's the deal. You have your Philosopher's Compass, which is the 3 parts of the self: who you are, what you are, where you're going, and why you are here. You have the 12 stages of perspective growth, which is what we're doing as a societal whole, as well as understanding where you are in all of these stages of growth. Most people who watch this video are probably going to be 5th, 6th perspective cultivators. Fantastic. I am going to be releasing this on the 19th, 20th, and 21st of January 2024 in my Healing Summit. The Healing Garden Summit is designed specifically to release this to the world. I already have TV producers lined up. They have already signed on, and they are already going to be televising this. They're going to be tracking the journey. I already have the support and the comprehension and the backing of psychologists, philosophers, scientists, neuroscientists. We have scientists on board who are implementing it into actual programs to enhance the experience and make it simple, easy, and well understood for all the perspectives. But we have to do this in spaces and in parts. It's not going to be dumping it right into the society and expecting everybody to change at the same time. That is not how the perspectives work. I take all of this into account. I've already accommodated everything, and everything's already been troubleshooted. We've already gone through everything. It's all smooth and ready to go. What I need now are just people to help network to get this out there, because it's going to require, like a combustion engine, our own enthusiasm and energy and excitement to push this through. Here's what's going to happen. I've mapped out the subconscious mind. I explain what the mental illnesses are, where in the cognitive core they come from, why they're there, and what we need to do to fix that. I will be releasing this information later. It's already on my website if you want to start taking a look at my classes. The information is readily available, so you can jump in and start taking a look at it today. Bottom line, we are highly logical. We are so logical that when there is illogic present, we develop invasive perspectives to accommodate that illogic. This is why when something makes sense, we feel relief and we say, that makes so much sense. It's because we are logical. Our emotions are a logical consequence to our logical composition. When you have a logical composition that is compromised with logical fallacy, our logic line creates cognitive dissonance. This creates an offshoot called an invasive perspective. This offshoot is where an emotional mental environment develops to create a corresponding mental illness. Now, I don't like to use the word mental illness because it's not an illness. It is a behavioral defense that your subconscious mind has created for you to survive a horrible situation. but there is no off switch. This is that off switch. You need to go through the belief system of your logical core and present a logical argument to prove to your subconscious mind why the logical fallacy is incorrect. Now, here's the catch. A logical fallacy is a red herring put there by the fear system. It's actually not a logical fallacy or a limiting belief at all. It is a fear. The fear needs to be soothed. To soothe a fear, you need to show it that it's not alone. Tell it it's not alone. It requires a 4-step process. Empathize. Empathy is the biggest emotion that heals the fear system. You must show the fear system that it is not alone, that it is valid to feel the emotions that it feels. You must soothe it by telling it it's going to be okay. Everything is all right. Not that it's going to be, that it is all right. That it is not alone and that you are going to work it out together. By soothing the fear system, reassuring it, validating it, and empathizing, it calms the fear system down because it understands that it is okay and that it is not alone. Remember, the fear system's primary fear is fear of the unknown, which is why we assume, create stories, have improbable fictions to plug in a future as a means to keep ourselves safe. When you soothe the fear system and you prove to the fear system that its fear is illogical, almost always it's a quantifier that creates this problem. The fear system releases the logical fallacy, and when that happens, the invasive perspective is released. All prejudice is a result of a logical fallacy that is embedded into the belief system due to a quantifier. A quantifier are the words always and never and all. When you use the words always, never, and all, you are actually tapping into your extreme polarized black and white thinking of significant aversion and or scarcity and abundance mindset. This is not harmonized, balanced thinking. Yin-yang harmony exists in the center. When you have neutrality that exists, you can have a surplus of emotions that are negative and or positive. This is where physics steps in. And emotions move just like physics. In fact, emotions move and behave exactly like kinetic energy in physics. Positive and negative charges are not good or bad. Good and bad implies ethical and moral documents. I'm using the wrong word. It'll come to me. Good and bad very much implies that there is an ethical compass at play here. Emotions are not moral. They are not good or bad. They just are. There is negative and there is positive. And those negative, positive charges, if you have a surplus of positive, you're going to have a positive, optimistic, abundance, emotional, mental environment. If you have a surplus of negative, you're going to have pessimism, scarcity, and that's going to be the emotional, mental environment. You require both to neutralize so that you're harmonized and you're balanced. You require a combination of both, the good and the bad. Well, let's change that to the positive and the negative. A great example of this is the emotions humiliation, which is a surplus of negative, and arrogance, which is a surplus of positive energy. You need both to live in a balanced, harmonized acceptance state of pride, confidence, and healthy living and mindset. If you have a surplus of humiliation and negativity, that's where depression steps in. That's where suicide occurs. This is where self-hate occurs. If you have a surplus of arrogance, this is where we start hating other people. This is where we start stomping on other people. This is where we start disrespecting other people. When you bring the two of them together, humiliation and arrogance, and you soften the arrogance and you soften the humiliation with the emotion love, it creates a neutral, healthy environment that balances everything else. The emotion love, this is my favorite part, is the neutralizer of all emotions. When you bring in a positive and a negative and you add love to it, it softens it and you get a very healthy, beautiful combination, an actual emotional concoction, a new chemical that creates that harmonized balance. This is what takes place inside of us when we heal. properly and completely. This is a little piece of the Philosopher's Compass. It's a little piece of Triadic Healing, which I will be going into extensively during my masterclasses. This will be covered completely in the summit that is coming up. I'm looking for authors. I'm looking for speakers. I am looking for any and all healers or cultivators. My work with neuroscience goes like this. I am a huge, huge proponent for havening. Havening is proven by neuroscience to literally diminish and or eliminate PTSD. It uses our basic touching from infancy, as well as memory, logic, and mathematics to downgrade a memory from a trauma memory to a regular memory. I absolutely condone havening. It's extraordinary and powerful. I am also working with a neuroscientist. He is extraordinary, and he is the sole inventor of something called Triliminals. Triliminals combines subliminal messaging with positive affirmations to create a thing, a sound audio recording that literally reprograms your subconscious mind using positive affirmations. He and I have partnered, we're collaborating, and knowing what I know about the subconscious mind, I have strategically selected positive affirmations that he will be embedding into his Triliminals for Triadic Healing, designed to rewire your nervous system, designed to undo the trauma in addition to the work that's being done with Triadic Healing. Likewise, I am also working with somebody on something called solution documentaries. Solution documentaries are about a 60 to 90-minute video that literally cures and solves the problem while you're watching it. I haven't confirmed this yet, but I am hoping I can combine the triliminals, the subliminal messages, with the solution videos so that while you gain the education of Triadic Healing, it also cures it at the same time. With this information and with my case studies, I have looked at solving mental illness and curing mental illness in literally 2 hours. It is powerful. It is extraordinary. I have spent the last week being subjected to psychologists, philosophers, doctors, scientists, neuroscientists, putting me through a massive amount of questioning to confirm whether or not this checks out. And it's highly logical. It is 100% checking out completely. We are all very certain that this holds the cure to mental illness. And I am partnering with neuroscience, physics, to prove it, to put it together, to make it digestible and deliverable for you. It's all done. It's ready to go. It's the healing engine. And it's designed literally to tap right into our mimic repetition learning centers of our brain, our natural instinct for love and parenting, and our human evolution, so that when I plug it and drop it into our system, it just goes like wildfire. No additional work required. It's that smooth. It's that easy. It's perfect. So far, it's proving to be flawless. We're still putting it through some tests, and it is still checking out. It's extraordinary. If you want to get on board, I am wanting and needing as many cultivators as possible. If you identify as a healer, as a teacher, as a light worker, as anybody who cares about world peace, who cares about any of this agenda, I want you. If you know somebody who you think can use this, I want them. I want to connect with them. My contact information is available below. Take a look at what I have here. I already have TV producers, world peace ambassadors, philanthropists, billionaires already on board supporting this project, elevating me to the top and connecting me to NATO. It's that big. All I need are 5th perspective and 6th perspective cultivators, as well as anyone who's passionate about wanting to make a difference. Now, in January, that is going to be one of 4 sessions. We're going to be doing this again in April for part 2, in July for part 3, and in October for part 4. I'm going to say again, I want as many people as we can. The idea is to accumulate as many healing resources as possible into one location. That way we can jumpstart people's healing, get them this information, and start pushing it out there fast. Over the year, I am going to be providing this for free to every school and teacher who wants it. I will be hosting classes to teach them how to implement this into their school systems. If you are a parent who wants to learn how to parent with this so that you start educating your children on the 12 perspectives, so you start nurturing their first 3 perspectives, technically first 5 perspectives, instead of projecting your own trauma onto your children as an emotional prosthetic, this is going to be for you as well. So if you are a parent who wants to change your game on parenting, if you are somebody who needs to be healed, if you are somebody who is a teacher who wants this incorporated into the educational system, come to me, connect. If you know somebody who you think can be a huge asset to this project, I want to meet them. I want to talk to them. Sign up, contact me, get on board, get on my mailing list. I'm going to be sending out basically information on who's going to be cherry-picked for my think tank. My think tank is already incorporated. It contains the highest creatives and innovators, basic world geniuses who can foresee things and who have resources that I don't have. That way we can start plugging people in and getting this thing pushed out there. This is exactly what we are looking for radical collaboration. I have also been invited to join the mental health movement for the Neuro Health Project that is worldwide, that launched earlier this month. Yes, I will be part of it as well. Triadic Healing is going to be available for that through there as well. Any information you have, any kind of resource, anything that is involved with mental healing, mental health, if you are a psychologist wanting to know the details, I'm absolutely open and available. Please connect with me. The information is below. And again, thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.